Welcome to Do the Math America. I am Charlene, the Math Shaman.
We continue our study of percents and application from pages 91 through 96 of the Beginning Algebra book. Please see the link in the description box below this video for the PDF file of this textbook, which you may use to make a hard copy for yourself. Finding the percent of increase or decrease. We write the ratio of the amount of increase or decrease to the original amount. What is the percent of increase from 4 to 6? First, we find the difference between 4 and 6. It's a subtraction problem, 6 minus 4. And we put it as a ratio to the original amount, which is 4. So it's 6 minus 4 over 4. Now this is a fraction, 6 minus 4 over 4, and we need to solve the subtraction problem within the numerator first. So we have 6 minus 4 equals 2 over 4, which reduces to 1/2 in its simplest terms. 1/2 is a division problem, 1 divided by 2, which we solve on the side, and we get 0.5. Now we need to convert the decimal 0.5 into a percent, and I use my reference 1 equals 100% to remind myself that to convert a decimal to a percent, I move that decimal point 2 places to the right and add a percent sign. So now I go back to the problem, 0.5, and I move that decimal point 2 places to the right and add a percent sign to get 50%. And we box our answer. What is the percent decrease from 6 to 4? Once again, we need to find the difference between 6 and 4 and put it as a ratio to the original amount. In this case, the original amount is 6. The percent of decrease equals 6 minus 4 over 6. So first we need to simplify the calculation 6 minus 4 in the numerator, which equals 2. Now we have 2 over 6, which simplifies to 1/3. 1/3 is a division problem, 1 divided by 3, and we will do that division problem on the side. And we see that it is 0.333 with a repeating 3. So we go back to our main problem and write that 1/3 equals 0.333 with a repeat sign over the 3. And now we convert that decimal into a percent. And I go back to my reference, 1 equals 100%, to remind myself that to convert a decimal to a percent, I move that decimal point 2 places to the right and add a percent sign. Now I go to 0.33 and move that decimal point 2 places to the right, and I round off to 0.3 and add a percent sign. So 33.3% is the approximate decrease. So to be more precise, I will add a squiggly over the equal sign to indicate that this is an approximate figure. If I want an exact figure, then I go back to the calculation 1 divided by 3, and I work it out to 0.33, 2 decimal places, and then I take the remainder, 1, and I turn that into the numerator, and I take the divisor 3 and I make that the denominator. So now I have 0.33 and 1/3. Now when I convert that decimal into a fraction, I move that decimal point 2 places to the right to give me 33 and 1/3%, which is the precise calculation. 33.3% is the approximate calculation. The electricity bill was $60 last month. It decreased to $45 this month. Find the percent of decrease. The percent of decrease equals 60 minus 45 over 60. which was the original amount. So first we solve the subtraction in the numerator, which is 60 minus 45, which equals 15, over 60. So we keep the rest of the fraction. Now I find the prime factors of both the numerator and the denominator. So the prime factors of 15 are 3 times 5, and the denominator, 60, I will use the shortcut division to pull out all the prime factors, and I get 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. Now I line up the prime factors in the numerator and denominator accordingly, and I cancel like terms. So the 5's cancel and the 3's cancel, leaving 1 in the numerator and 2 times 2, or 4, in the denominator. So 1/4 is a division problem, 1 divided by 4, and I work that equation out on the side, and I get 0.25. Now I convert that decimal, 0.25, into a percent using my reference, 1 equals 100%. Remind myself to move that decimal point 2 places to the right and add a percent sign. Now I go back to 0.25, move that decimal point 2 places to the right and add a percent sign, which gives me 25%. So the percent of decrease is 25%. And we box our answer. The population of a city increased from 125,000 to 180,000 in 10 years. Find the percent of increase. Find the percent of increase. First, we find the difference between 125,000 to 180,000. It's a subtraction problem. 180,000 minus 125,000 over the original number, which is 125,000. Now we do the subtraction problem, 180,000 minus 125,000 on the side. And it works out to be 55,000. Now we have the fraction simplified to be 55,000 over 125,000. Which isn't as scary of a number as it sounds when you realize that the 3 zeros in the numerator cancel with the 3 zeros in the denominator, because 55,000 equals 55 times 1,000, and 125,000 equals 125 times 1,000. So the thousands cancel, leaving 55 over 125. Now I prime factorize both the numerator and the denominator. 55 works out to be 5 times 11, and 125 works out to be 5 times 5 times 5. And I write those factors out next to the fraction, 55 over 125. I line up the prime factors accordingly to the numerator and denominator, and that lets me cancel out like factors. So the 5's in the numerator and denominator cancel out, leaving 11 in the numerator and 5 times 5, or 25, in the denominator, which is a division problem, 11 divided by 25, and I do that calculation on the side. And I find that it works out to be 0.44. Now I just need to convert 0.44 into a percent. And I use my reference, 1 equals 100%, to remind myself to move that decimal point 2 places to the right and add a percent sign. So I go back to 0.44, move that decimal point 2 places to the right, add a percent sign, and I end with 44%. So the percent of increase of that population is 44%. And we box our answer. Now we look at the practice problems on page 94, and we see that these problems I demonstrated will help you do problems 31 through 33. There are also additional problems on Chapter 5 exercises, the problem sets on pages 95 and 96, which will also give you some percent change problems to practice on. Please check your work with the answers in the back of the book to make sure you did the problems correctly.
If you found this video helpful, please give me a like, subscribe, and share this channel with anyone you know who wants to learn math. Thank you for joining me at Do the Math America.